Hi, I'm Madonna.
I'm your worst nightmare.
To rule the world.
Why don't you show them what you do, honey?
You've never had more fun with anyone else.
People, we gotta move on to the next song.
Somewhere
I'm sweet and I'm a bitch, you know what I mean? And that's always been the way it is. I'm a human being.
I'm waiting.
Hi, this is Niki Haris, and I'm going to be your guest on MLVC, the Madonna podcast.
Hey guys, it's Tony. Stefan, are you there?
Oh, Tony, no quote today? I'm
no
shocked.
quote today.
Hey everybody, this is Stefan. Welcome to another episode of MLVC, the Madonna podcast, your place for all things Madonna, Louise, Veronica Ciccone. And today on the show, we are so excited to be joined by the one, the only, the legendary Niki Haris. Niki, welcome to the podcast.
The crowd goes wild.
Yay!
And the crowd goes wild.
Hi, Niki. Welcome to the podcast.
I'm so grateful that I'm still included in one of the, all things, one thing, associated with Madonna.
Absolutely.
That's great. It's
you
a lovely thing.
You helped build that house.
I would venture to say, yes, I did. But I'm grateful for every stone that I laid.
Oh, that's so great to hear.
Niki, how is everything out where you are? Are you staying safe during these crazy days?
I am always safe because I got angels watching over me.
Mm-hmm.
And I am doing my best to keep my head up, as they say. And I'm seeing good and knowing good. But, I was a history major in college. And so I also know what it takes to get past this hump in history, historically speaking, where we are right now.
Mm-hmm.
There's some painful days ahead of us.
Yeah.
And we got to just be ready for them. And we got to get loved up, as they say. We got to get ready to just pour on love and positivity and truth and tell the truth, no matter how painful. Because that's how we're going to get over this. That's how, the gay community knows it, and obviously the Black community's been climbing this hill for so long. It's just like, it's so necessary right now because I want it I don't want my daughter to have to go up this hill again.
Yeah.
And every time we go up the hill, they put another boulder in front and roll us back a couple of more feet. And it's like, come on, y'all, we gotta climb again.
Yeah.
So
I'd seen somebody say they had reposted a split screen picture of the 1960 protests and riots and then a picture of what was happening today. And it was like, seriously, we're still dealing with this, and like the debate over the fact that why is there even a debate that racism is a bad thing? That shouldn't even be an issue.
Yeah.
There's no gray area.
Yeah, and I think, and even on the side of those who go, we know it's a bad thing or any of that stuff. We also have to be mature enough on our side to have compassion for those who are holding on to stuff they just, once again, growth is painful. It can be very painful for some people. And we just got to really let them know that it's safe on this side. And that's why half of them don't want to come because they're used to a certain thing. Once again, I can speak from the Black side, but I can also speak to I watch my gay brothers and sisters who, it's like coming out to your parents. It's like, they're just scared. They're scared and they're holding on to what they thought was normal to them or what felt good to them or just and some people are just apathetic. And that's the point I hope that people don't get to. It's like that they get so bombarded by pain and struggle that they just shut down. And so I'm inspired by these babies and by my daughter who's 17. I'm inspired by her generation who just are like, they're like, fuck this shit. Why are we still talking about this? And I think that's why so many are in her generation are unafraid to go, you know what? I'm kind of genderless. I'm going to do what feels good. And if it happens to be a man that I'm loving, if it happens to be a woman I'm loving, if it happens, if I want to wear a dress, if I want to wear purple hair, I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
As opposed to leaning into conformity.
Yeah, quote unquote societal norms.
Or group thinking. It's just like, and once again, we all have to check ourselves and make sure that we're not becoming part of that. No, even in the times that we think that we're right. It's like, no, wait, let's just breathe for a minute. And is what I'm about to say, is it helping? Is it to help? Or is it to hurt? Is it to heal? Or is it to harm? Is the next thing I'm about to say. And because trust me, I see in many of my friends, in quotation marks, post things or say things that I'm like, wait a minute, that's not what your real heart is. And I know it's not. That's just, you're in group thinking right now, whether
or the lack of commentary sometimes, I think, speaks volumes as well.
Ooh. Oh, come on. I'm in the South where I've got a lot of my friends, in quotation marks, who have been so silent that it says all I need to know. And we all know that most of this is about people being invisible and about economics. People have violence committed against them when people don't see you anymore, and they don't see you as human, or they see you as subhuman, or and unfortunately many of my Black and brown brothers and sisters have economic troubles because we are in a system that has cast us in the bottom caste. And all I can do is say to my even my gay brothers and sisters is like, and you guys know what that feels like.
Yeah.
And so I'm grateful for all those who are on the front lines and saying, nope, it's not good for us, and it's not good for them either.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm humbled, and I'm so enthusiastic by, the spirit that these, the generation that came after mine, these young kids, and, they grew up colorblind. They grew up, not worrying about gender. And
okay, I'm gonna give you a little pushback. Here's a little pushback on that one, because that is something that my daughter has come to terms with. My daughter is she gets thought of as like, either she Puerto Rican, is she she gets asked a lot, what are you? Like, what are you? That lovely question that is so demeaning, and says so much more about the person who's actually asking the question.
Yeah.
But she says to me, like, Mom, I don't want people to be colorblind. And she says that her generation is not colorblind.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, because and as we had conversations about it, you heard my dogs back there, right? I have 2 golden doodles and a chocolate lab, and they have decided to play right by me on the computer.
They want your attention, of course.
Winston, Calvin, Hershey, sit, baby. It's all good. She says to me, and she and I have discussed as far as when the statement, when I see you, I don't see color. She says, I have to explain to people, then you're missing a very huge part of me. Wow, you're missing a very, very huge part of my story. And for you to tell me that you don't see color is either it's painful for you to see that part of me, or that you've put me in another category of people that you think is better because they don't have color.
Right.
And it's like,
okay.
And it's like, no. I want you to paint with all the colors, is what I tell my baby. They're, the chartreuse is just as good as the black. The pink is just as good as the purple. The violet is just as lovely as the brown. It's like, use them all.
No, you're right. That's a great point. Because...
And we have to once again, we have to check ourselves for those people who are on our sides too, because we have gotten into things that we think are appropriate to say, or that we think, this makes me sound like I'm really advanced and transformed. I've transformed racism. I mean, I transcended racism because I can say these kind of things. It's like, wait a minute, no. No. We want to see a beautiful brown, yummy man, or an Italian. I want to see all that and go and celebrate it.
Right.
As opposed to thinking it's something that I have to pretend I don't see.
Right. As opposed to people kind of hiding who they are just to be, part of the status quo. So yeah,
right.
It's very important to, show who you are to the world. You know?
Absolutely. And feel safe in doing so. And that's the thing that people, Black and brown people feel that they've never had a chance to do. To really be seen and really show themselves. And I once again, I'm going to lean to my gay brothers and sisters and go, and you all know what that feels like.
Right.
To be afraid to be seen. Yeah. And by being seen, that your life might be on the line. So you really know what that feels like. If I am seen, that I could die from this. That by being seen, I might actually die. And so I think the bravery that's being shown right now is, I've been watching James Baldwin's I'm Not Your Negro. And Raul Pettis, I think his name is. Letty, Raul Letty is the director. And he cut footage from what's going on in the street now with the original I'm Not Your Negro picture. Film. So, and you would never know that it's 1963 or 2018, 2019, because it's like, oh, we still have so much to learn, so much to learn, and that it's possible. That's all I can say. That it is possible, as long as we're listening. Change is possible. Yeah,
and I trust me, the whole country's listening now. They have no choice.
Yeah.
Put everybody on blast.
I hope so.
Well,
too.
And I think once again, what does the universe give you a brick, and then they give you a brick wall. It's like, no, the universe set this up. Somebody set this up that we would actually all have to be doing this during a pandemic.
Right, as if it wasn't already hard enough.
Yeah. But that we also had to. We're in our homes. And that there were no sports for people to get distracted by, and all that. It's like, no, pay attention to this. This is our brick wall. We're running into the brick wall again. Do you want to pay attention to it? Because the next time the universe might show us something completely different. It's crazy. I have dual mindsets right now. I'm extremely hopeful, and Winston. And I'm extremely agitated by my dog. No. And I'm extremely hopeful, and I'm extremely trying to find the exact word I want to say for it. I am extremely doubtful that there's a huge percentage of this world that really, really wants to change.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the part. I'm from Michigan.
Yeah.
And I done lost a lot of friends or people that I thought were my friends. I've lost a lot of friends because I was like, oh, you're the person who will tell me how good your stocks are doing and how good the economy is, and watch them put me in a train and take me somewhere.
Right.
Yeah, I'm having a lot of the same feelings, and I'm a big believer of hope, and I believe that all will be revealed. I just hope that it's something that we can all live with,
Yeah, and quite frankly, I don't know if I'm talking to Stefan or Antonio. I'm talking to you both.
Yes.
Here's the deal. Yes, if we really believe those words of those people, part of the belief of those people, whether it be Gandhi or Martin, Malcolm, and yes, I will say Jesus, is that part of any revolution or part of any change is the willingness to go, this skin that I'm in may not survive, but the change that I'm seeking is worth it. And that's the part we got to get ready for. It's like, who's really put some real skin in the game.
Yeah.
And because I know I got enough of my brothers and sisters out there taking the bullets. So I hope other people stand up too. And a lot of us ain't gonna make it.
Yeah. No. So, Stefan, why don't you introduce...
That's joyful.
Well, I was gonna say, let's just take a breath right now. We are starting this out with some real talk on the podcast today.
Yeah.
We're going to give you something to think about. But Stefan,
Yeah.
please
Okay,
introduce...
then I'll make it joyful. All of us will make it. It just might be on this side of the dirt. All of us will make it. Though.
Yes.
All of us are making. We're all gonna make it into the light, and we all will eventually. It's just, why don't we make it more beautiful on this side of the dirt while we can?
Mhm.
Right. Everyone needs to pitch in and do their part. They can't. Staying silent is not an option.
No. Taking pictures of your salad is not enough and posting it.
Right.
It's like,
Yeah.
please. Okay.
Well, yes. Before we get any further, let's give you a proper introduction to our listeners, even though I don't think I really need to introduce you, because I'm sure anyone who's listening to this podcast should know who you are. But Niki Haris is a singer, dancer, and actress who catapulted to fame as part of Madonna's backing vocalists on 4 separate tours: Who's That Girl, Blonde Ambition, The Girlie Show, and Drowned World. Besides singing alongside the Queen of Pop, she has collaborated with some of the biggest artists in the music industry, such as Whitney Houston, Luther Vandross, Prince, Ray Charles, Kylie Minogue, Snap, Ani DeFranco, and so many, many more. She's done choreography. She's had roles in TV and film, most notably her appearance in one of the greatest rock and roll documentaries of all time, Truth or Dare, and has done solo music projects. Niki also teamed up with fellow Madonna backup singer Donna DeLory on a collaboration EP titled Two Friends, and the two performed some intimate gigs in New York City and LA titled Niki and Donna, Songs and Stories. And most recently, Niki joined forces with Donna once again to appear on Bright Light's delicious house track, This Was My House. So
How
what
fun
a
is
great
that?
track.
welcome.
This was my house.
We had Bright Light on the show, and he kind of, just previewed the track, and oh my God, once I heard it, I was like, this is heaven. Thank you for that.
That was so much fun. Yeah, easy breezy. It reminded me of how easy it is to do those kind of tracks, and how, like, to me, that kind of music is like gospel music to me. It's like it's the epitome of God. It's like joy and just like so much fun. And we need more of those. We need some more house songs. Bring on the house, honey.
Well, I'm happy to hear you say that, because that's exactly what I was going to say to you. I'm like, that was so wonderful to hear you and Donna on a house track. You know, one of my all-time favorite Madonna songs is Rescue Me, and I know the two of you did backing vocals on that, and that was amazing. And when I heard This Was My House, that's all I thought was. I was like, we need them to do a house album.
Yeah, we probably will. I mean, I would totally do it, and we can always remix. Remember, when she and I get together, we always that's why we started with Two Friends and we just wanted just good songs, just simple good songs. Because anything, if it's got the right energy behind it, you can put a dance track on it. If it's a great song and the message is right, and that's good news. That's what gospel is. And that's why it's the closest thing to inspirational, like gospel music, just like hand clapping, just spreading the good news kind of music. So, I hope
while we're on that topic, I know that there's like a subgenre like spiritual house music. I'm familiar with, just like Ann Nesby or Mary. But I know that you are part of that world. Can you tell us more about that? Because I know a lot of people don't really know it exists.
Well, we should know it exists. I mean,
I know.
Once again, I have double, brain waves going, things I want to say about it. I know there are a lot of people I know who are in the clubs who also are really, really deep spiritual people. And I think a lot of people associate people who go to clubs and, that they're partying and nothing but a rave, and all they're doing is doing, meth and drinking and blah, blah. And a lot of people are not going to those clubs just for those reasons, or to hook up or any of that kind of stuff. At least for me, I remember at a time when I went to the club and I'd have a bottle of water and just dance all night because it felt so good. So I really believe that a lot of that music, holds that place for people in their hearts. A lot of, especially in this quarantine time right now, I know a lot of people are pumping that music in their homes, dancing in the middle of their living room, feeling so good because it feels like community. It feels joyous. So I love doing that kind of music because I do spiritual centers, and I try my best whenever I do the spiritual centers to let people know that all spiritual music does not have to be quiet, uh, what's the
Church
word?
mouse music.
I'm trying not to. I'm trying to release the judgment. I'm trying to be better, Stefan. I'm trying to be better. No. That the only way that I don't want to think that the only way to get to that higher plane is by being just quiet inside. That sometimes it's about releasing, and it's about opening your heart up. I wish I had a video right now that surrender to spirit and surrender to the goodness that life has for you is not always inside. It's about lifting your hands up and opening all your heart up. That's another way of expressing it too. Mm-hmm. So that's why, I mean, it's the thing is, the reason why people go to black churches. It's like, because half of them going for the music. Mm-hmm.
It was never that much fun in my white church growing up. We
my
were sitting
mom
around mumbling through some old stinky hymns, and I was like, you'd see these black churches on TV and whatnot. I'm like, they look like they're having a party. Can we go to that
Jesus?
church?
He's like, that's where Jesus is.
Yeah,
Why are we here?
I want to go dance.
Well, and here's the deal. My mom is an Episcopalian, okay, and so, which I call Catholic light. It's the same doctrine, half the guilt. But my daddy was a Baptist. Thank you for being able. So I know. Say, I see my life from both sides now. I know from where I speak. I understand getting on your knees and genuflecting, but I also know shouting and having a good time up and down the aisles and praise dancing and praise, all that. So I believe that the reason the spiritual dance stuff is huge, is good, is big for people, is because once people really start living what they think is the spiritual life or the God-like life, a lot of them think that they can't go to these clubs, or because they think that's going to be the sign of it's the hookup and the drugs and the dead. So, but they still want the experience and what that kind of uplifting feeling again. And so a lot of people turn to, like, can we just remix a gospel song? Can we, it's about, can we remix that? Because at the end of the day, we're still just trying to all make our hearts open up, and I'm a believer. I'm like, look, you can find, spirit and joy in anywhere if you look hard enough, and if anything, the dance clubs were my church.
Yeah. Well, I have a quick anecdote, Niki. So I lived in Atlanta in the late 90s, and my roommate was a DJ. And
come on,
he would take me to these house clubs in downtown Atlanta, and I would hear this music for the first time. It's where I discovered Ann Nesby and all these women, these amazing voices. And I'm like, how come I've never seen this at the record store and I can't hear this anywhere? And they're like, because this is all gospel music, and just recognize that it's gonna blow your mind. And and you're dancing till 4 or 5 in the morning in these clubs, where they serve food in the back. And I don't think anyone was on drugs or anything. Everyone's just dancing all night long to this house music. And after I left Atlanta, I never saw that again, but I kept going back to the music. So hopefully we'll have that big revival. You know what I mean?
Oh, honey, go to Chicago. It's really Chicago. All that, Frankie Knuckles back in the 70s, all that stuff is all, where it really originated from.
Yeah, Derek Carter was one of those DJs that I would go see, and he would play the spiritual house music. So yeah, thanks for talking about that.
Houston has a huge, it's like, and quite frankly, I mean, and once again, we got to be careful with the group thinking, because a lot of these people, they know they want to be in church, they want to do that, but they also want the experience of the club and all that stuff too. And when you put the gospel music with the house beat, it's undeniable. And so they have to throw out some of the the gloves and the fans, and pretend that they're in the Southern Baptist Church, but they can still bring all that joy in their heart into that on the dance floor. And once again, I'm gonna say again, the dance floor was the church for me, and that's where I found God. Really found God. Was like, oh my Lord, and to me, finding God is, or finding spirit, or whatever you want to call it, finding pure joy, pure love, pure peace, is when you. It's what namaste means. It's I see God in you, you see God in me, and when we see it in each other, we are one. And that's what those moments on the dance floor for me were. Whereas, because I grew up where nobody was dancing with each other, we just danced together. It was like you looked in the mirror and you danced. Sometimes it's like you didn't need a dance partner. You just everybody danced. It's a lovely spiritual moment, and I think that's why I think that's why a lot of people are pulled to it, and on the other hand, I think that's why a lot of people are scared of it too.
Yeah,
because when you start going, oh, I have to let go of all my my old dialogue, that whole narrative that I had before. It's like, because this feels so good, it's like, yeah, you have to let go of that now. So now dance your way through it. Dance your way through it. Anyway. That's how I feel.
Well, actually, speaking of dance, I know you did a lot of dancing on tour with Miss Madonna.
Oh my gosh!
And so,
oh my gosh,
the 4 tours you did. Who's That Girl? Blonde Ambition, Girlie Show, Drown World Tour. I saw 2 of the 4 in person. Blonde Ambition was my very first concert ever, and very first Madonna concert. And then Drown World Tour was a religious experience in and of itself. I've seen the other 2 on video. I'm curious to know, like, those, I mean, because to me that was like going to church. Seeing Madonna in concert is a religious experience. And what was your experience like from tour to tour? Was one tour harder than another? I know there was I know she elevated the dancing and choreography from tour to tour. What was your experience like?
Yeah. Well, once again, I have a dual, conversation going on in my head as a dancer, and then as a person who's, simply aging, as a female, as a woman, I see it from the point of I still love to dance. I would love to dance, but my body can't do it. But it's like you just come to a point where you're like, I'm an athlete. It's like after a while, you just can't do that anymore. And I went through, so I was 22, 23, 24, maybe the first one, healthy, used to be a gymnast, really strong. And that's another thing too. What you can do at 22 is quite different from what you can do at 42.
Oh, amen to that.
So, I was, by the end of I was 40 by the end of the Drown World Tour, and I had an accident. So I had been in a wheelchair for a year. I had torn my right foot off my leg. I had torn my left thigh in half. Madonna had made sure I had the best doctors. But I was exhausted. And I was injured. I was still, they had to wrap my leg every day before. That was on the Drown World Tour. And that's when she started doing all those deep knee bends and stuff. And
which I was going to bring up, because I remember hearing you say every night you had to do those. You were just praying to God to help him lift you up.
Yeah. Well, because I don't know if you've ever had it, but once you tear your foot off your leg, and I had like an external fixator, it's called, on my leg for about 7 months, and they had to re-break it and put it back in place again because I got infected, and it was crazy. And by the time I had to, and we were in the cowboy boots and stuff then.
Right.
I was, once again, like I said, I was really simply just learning how to really walk again, let alone really dance. And I was in my 40s, and I was dancing next to 18, 20-year-olds, and I'm like, this is hurting. And I always call that last tour for me my Muhammad Ali tour. So if you've ever watched Muhammad Ali in some of his fights when he was older, and you're looking at him fighting, and he's like doing the rope-a-dope, and he's in the ring, but you're like, why the hell is he still boxing?
Right.
Why is he taking this punishment? And so I called the Drown World Tour my Muhammad Ali tour. It was just like, every night was just like, just get me through this, get me through these 15 rounds. If I can get through this and go back to my hotel and just ice up and, and then, then do the heat, then rub the scabs and it was a lot.
Well, you never knew. You would never know. Like, God bless you. No one would have ever known that had you not just told us that now.
I went over.
Like you were having the time of your life.
I was having the time of my life. In that, I am so grateful for Madonna for making sure I had some of the best doctors to help heal me, some of the best trainers to get me well. So grateful for her for that, and for instilling in me that you can do this. You can do this, and I was like, I just want to walk again. I don't know if I'm going to be able to dance again. And she's like, you got this. You can do this. You can do this. And once again, just, I don't know how old you guys are, but you have these conversations with your body of like, it's not so much I want to do it. Like I said, I want to dance, but I did a cartwheel the other day. I did a freaking cartwheel. Yeah, just to see if I could still do it. Now, mind you, I'm knocking on 60's door, right? So I'm doing a cartwheel and a walkover, and my daughter's like, "What the heck are you doing, Mom?" Like, I'm not, because we have this like, big front yard, and we live by a lake, and so I'm out in the yard doing cartwheels, just to see if I can do them. Now, mind you, when I got back in the house, I was like so proud of myself. I felt so good. By the time I got in bed that night after taking a shower, my wrists were so sore.
Oh,
my, like my lower back was like, what did you just do? Now I could make the choice of like, do it again, like keep doing them and I'll, keep getting stronger or whatever. And then it was like, what are you trying to prove?
Right.
Like, for me, it's just like, I can still do the splits. I can still, all that. So I'm like, that's enough. I'm good. And when people like you tell me, Niki, we're so, that we saw how you were dancing on that. I'm like, oh, right. I got film. I already did it. I don't have to do this anymore. Hence why I sing beautiful, I sing jazz music and sit and wear beautiful gowns. And then when Don and I sang, we, put stools down and we talk to the audience and, keep it pretty light.
Yeah.
Niki, I have a very superficial question, but I have to ask it. Okay.
Superficial.
So for all these tours, what was your initial reaction when Madonna would tell you, this is what your hairstyle is going to be and this is what you're going to wear?
And you know the answer to that question. So stop. So why are you trying to start shit right now? Why are you trying to start some shit?
I just remember, I think it was, I forgot for which show it was, but
it was Drown World.
It was Drown World. She was going to have everyone shave their heads. Is that what it was?
Look, yes.
And your hair's too beautiful for that. I agree.
I didn't say that. But I think she it was Drown World. And she had them shave for
Girlie show.
Girlie show, yeah.
For Girlie show. She didn't ask us to shave on Girlie show, but she wanted us to do it on Drown World. And I was like, I don't think that's gonna happen.
But the mohawk was fierce.
And Donna had just grown her hair out, and she was in the room crying. Oh. Like, I was like, baby, I'm not gonna let her. We're not gonna. I think this is when Madonna was like, Niki's got to go because Niki's like got mutiny going on in the draw. I was like,
she's got too many ideas of her own now.
No, or she's just gonna go and talk to people and just go, I'm not gonna let her shave your head off. And I think Madonna was like, who does this bitch think she is? She's over there talking to people. I'm like, I'm not cutting my hair in no fucking mohawk, and Donna is not shaving her hair off. It's not gonna happen. So. Yeah, we definitely had some moments in that particular tour.
But you guys look great.
Compromise. Yeah, you guys did great.
Well, here's the deal. I put Bantu knots on Donna's hair, and I said, just it'll look weird on you. So maybe she'll dig this. And my makeup artist, Alexis Colby, made me a faux mohawk. Mm-hmm. And he was like, just put this on. It'll look like you have a mohawk, but you don't. And I was like, all right, I'm down with that, but I'm not chopping my shit off.
Yeah.
And especially for, Black girls, I'm sorry, we already got enough issues about our hair. You know, it's like, don't make me fucking shave my hair off right now. I'm dealing with the fact that I'm the big black girl on stage with y'all with all these hips, and I'm already feeling like a little bit of an outcast. Don't make me be the bald headed, big hipped. Don't make me do this. So when we came up with that, compromise, as it were, I was quite happy, and Donna was happy that she didn't have to shave her head off, and I think Madonna, like I said, wanted to shoot me by the end of that tour.
Well, I'm glad you guys relented, because you guys looked perfect the way you did, and
the styling was so on point. It was amazing.
I thought it was fun. Yeah, I thought it was fun. And quite frankly, I was like, I didn't mind, having a faux mohawk. I just didn't want it to be permanent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe if I was 16 or 17 or my first year in college, I would go crazy, but not when you're 40.
Yeah. Maybe if it was your first Madonna concert, you would have,
maybe.
Madonna. Maybe. Yeah,
maybe not.
You were a veteran by then. You're like, no.
Babe. And I had other careers. I had other stuff to do. Remember, I was still doing Snap. I was still singing jazz. I was like, I can't do this. No. I can't. Yeah. I got other things, no. In
the 90s, Niki was at least in my mind, known as the soundtrack queen, because every time I watched a movie, I was like, that sounds familiar. And then I'd look at the credits. I was like, Niki Haris, there we are.
I was lucky. I was very, very lucky. Yeah. I'm grateful for that mailbox money right now. I'm so grateful for that mailbox money.
Especially when all these movies are streaming now, right?
Exactly.
Oh, right.
And trust me, being quarantined, like I'm turning my daughter on to like all these old movies, and she's totally into like Breakfast Club and
nice.
St. Elmo's Fire. I mean, I almost let her watch Less Than Zero, but I was like, okay, we'll wait on that. But yeah, but she's like, just stuff she's never seen before, and she's so into it. I'm slowly moving her into the serious classics, like some of the film noir and all that stuff. So,
well, I hope that you showed her the Pee-wee's Playhouse Christmas special, which is
actually has that. I don't think I showed it to her, but we were moving, and I think she saw that. I think I have it on VHS. I think I do.
Yeah, when that came out on DVD, I must have bought like 20 of them and given them away.
Well, I'm glad could you send me one? Maybe I'll send one to my mom. Yeah, that's hilarious. Please, I remember that.
Yeah, I gave one to my goddaughter when she was like 10 years old, and it's like, I turned her onto it, and she turned her friends onto it. It's timeless. It's great. It's timeless,
and we need more shows like that. It was so inclusive and loving, and once again, he taught us to paint with all the colors.
Yeah,
that show taught children to accept people for all, even if they come in the room looking crazy with a cowboy hat on, or whatever. It's like no, everybody's accepted in this world. It's wonderful. Yeah, I think that was a great show. He was our version of Mr. Rogers.
Yeah, he is.
A much zanier version of Mr. Rogers.
Absolutely, thank God. Yeah.
We needed that sensibility in the 80s. That's the only way we were going to pay attention.
I don't know if you guys might be too young to know this though, but Mr. Rogers, even though don't think of him as zany and he was really straight laced and all that other stuff. But Mr. Rogers had a live jazz band on his set.
I remember that.
Yeah. That was huge. That was a huge thing to have that and wanted it, because he loved that music. So he was a little bit of a radical too.
Have you seen the Mr. Rogers documentary? Yeah, not the Tom Hanks movie. The documentary. Won't you be my neighbor? Oh my God!
I have not yet.
I saw it at the Angelica when it came out with a room full of adults,
Steph, everyone cried,
bawling our eyes out at the end of it. Like,
okay, I have to stream that. I have to stream that.
It's really, really good.
And mind you, there's so much stuff I haven't seen. I'm not going to lie to you guys. There's so much great film that I have not seen, because I find myself between the spiritual music, house music, jazz, and simply being a mom. I hardly ever get to really listen to music, and I hardly ever get a chance to really sit down and see a lot of film. and so in that respect, I'm thankful for this quarantine. I have started to watch stuff that I've been wanting to catch up on that documentary. I've been, and reading more, all that. I mean, reading more because I want to, not reading because I got to read through this real fast or whatever. It's like reading because I've always wanted to read this particular book, or I wonder what this author was, So that's a good thing.
Yeah.
It's a good thing for us to just slow down and do those things.
That's the right word, slow down, because I feel like this is a perfect time to consume something and also take it all in, because I feel like when I live in New York, so I read books and I'll read a little bit on the subway, a little bit after work, a little bit before bed. But now I'm reading and I'm getting the big picture, and that's so important.
And you can read something over that you thought you read one way and then read it again. You're like, you get a whole nother color. It's beautiful. It's really good. And very much like Hitchcock said, that's why things are better in black and white, because it leaves more to your imagination. You have to do the painting. You have to do that inside of your head. And sometimes those things that we paint ourselves are more instilled in our minds and in our hearts. The things that we're forced to use our own paintbrushes on. I
love that.
As opposed to somebody giving. And that's why it's like, that's, the dumbing down of America. It's like there's so too many people just sitting in front of stuff and not forming the images for themselves. They're being fed narratives. You know what I mean? I mean, I hope you understand what I'm saying.
Oh yeah,
yeah. It's and being careful about how much you're consuming. Trust me, it's like, and I probably say this because I got a 17-year-old now downstairs, and I'm just like, is she on a screen? Is it a book? Okay, time to take a walk in nature.
Yeah.
Well, you got to just balancing that all out, because that what we put on that screen can really define how our hearts grow.
I want to talk about your friend Donna now. When she was on the show, I love speaking with her, and she actually, dispelled some myths. She told us about how you guys met during rehearsals for Who's That Girl? You replaced somebody, you came in, and it was like that other person was never, a question. You guys hit it off immediately and took it.
It was like 200 girls. I was with the Righteous Brothers in Vegas, and they flew me in because they needed a singer who could dance. And I got there, it was like 200 girls. And I was like, oh, I'm like, that's the one thing that hasn't changed about me. I mean, like, I pretty much say what I feel. I'm like, you guys, I'm letting you know, I need to go first because I can't.
You're like, I can't.
I can't sit there. And how about this? I have a job. I don't really need this job. So, and I had a concert that night in Vegas, and literally, so I was like, let me go first, and then you guys can, let these other girls go. Well, we did, and that's when she was like, and actually Debbie Mazar came up to me. She goes, you got this already. This is everything else is just, we're just looking at these other girls right now. This, you already got this. So literally, I was in the back with Debbie. Debbie was showing me like costumes and making sure that they could fit and stuff. And then I came back out, and then Madonna was like, come here, and we went into her car. And she's like, call your boss and let him know that you're not going to be coming back to Vegas. And
what did Bill Medley say?
Well, here's the deal. It's really funny. Bill Medley was like, I hear she's going to be huge. And then I said, but I can't leave you in the lurch. He goes, hold on just a minute. And he goes, how much is she paying you? And I went over to Madonna, and she told me. And I went back over to Bill. He goes, I think you should stay with her.
Follow the money, Nikki. Follow the money.
Follow the money.
I didn't know you sang for the Righteous Brothers. I mean, I grew up listening to them. What an amazing voice. What was that?
The Righteous Brothers, Righteous Brothers, Bill Medley and Bobby Hatfield bought me my first car.
Oh my God.
Yeah. My first year in college, they were like, you can sing with us as long as you stay in college. And
that's great. I love that.
That makes me love them even more. Oh
yeah. They're amazing. Amazing. And Bill Medley's still singing.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I saw him recently on something, and I was like, "Oh my God, I want to see him live."
Yeah, they're the ones who put me on the plane and said, "Go." They're looking for you in LA, and go see what this is about. We hear that she's going to be huge. So, That's
you went on.
What was the myth? What's the more of the myths?
Well, I mean, I've heard all kinds of things. It was like that, Donna brought you in. I read that somewhere, and then I also
Donna didn't bring me in.
I also read that, and this was wrong. This is before internet. When all those stupid biographies came out in the 90s, and they were so full of like misinformation. They would say,
right.
"Oh yeah, Niki sang backup on the Like a Virgin album," and I was like, "No, that's not true. Even I know that."
Right.
So
there's no way I could have.
But
I was not even in the country.
So you went on tour first, and then you guys went into the studio, for the Like a Prayer album. So what was that like? Just working on songs from their inception.
Well, that's when I knew, and I think that's when Madonna knew. I mean, I can't really say for sure, but I knew that there was something magical, that she had all the colors she needed to make a full, round sound on her record.
Mm-hmm.
And that Don and I gave her a sound.
Yeah.
That I knew. And I think she recognized that too. And that's when I knew there was not going to be, other singers with us. There wasn't any need. We had all the colors we needed with our voices.
Yeah, and I think from a fan base, I mean, Tony and I talk about this all the time. It's the three of you encapsulated such a great moment in Madonna's career. I think it made sense to you personally because you were there, and to Madonna, but I think it also resonated extremely well with all of the fans who were seeing it. There was just something that made sense about seeing all three of you perform and sing together, the way that your energies combined, the way your voices excelled with each other. It was such a great time to have, which is why I think to this day, and I'm sure you get it all the time, why aren't you singing with Madonna again? When are you going to go back and sing with Madonna again? Because it just worked so well at that time.
It's a moment in time. That's what it is.
Well, look, who knows? Never say never what might happen. But I know we made some really nice music together, and we had some laughs, and once again too, it's like from the 20s to our 40s. That's not a bad run.
Yeah,
that's not a bad run at all for any just for even working at a corporation. If you work that long at any job, So musically, that's why I'm so glad when Donna and I sing together now, because we're reminded of like, oh yeah, what we do have is really magic.
Yeah,
it's really, really magical. So, maybe we'll invite Madonna back to sing with us. We're not sure.
Well, I mean,
we're not sure. We're not sure what she's doing right now.
She's got some time. I mean, I hear she's just sitting around.
I hear she's out and on the Hamptons in her mansion or something. But if she has time, maybe she'll come sing a song with us.
You know what? Honestly, I think she should, because I think it would be. I think people would really appreciate it. I mean, Tony and I are always sitting around being like, Madonna should do this. Madonna should do this. I mean, obviously, we're not running the woman's career. It's her thing to choose. But and I get it. She doesn't like to look back too much all the time and sort of dredge up old stuff. She's like with you and Donna, you're trying to do new experiences, create new art, have, new music to put out there. And you honor some of the classics or whatnot. And I think that's what Madonna tries to do. But at the same time, it's like, throw them a bone, do a little one-off song with Niki and Donna, and everyone will be happy, and.
Hey, look, I'll tell you what, if anything, this whole quarantine and like not working and all that stuff has taught me, it's like, look, if she, I don't know what I might do if poverty really starts to hit in. I might be at her doorstep, like knocking on her door, talking about, look, you better put me on something. I need to eat. Oh, look, I don't know.
We were telling Donna, and we've also spoken with Lewis and Kevin and Oliver now. We're always saying, if you all fall on hard times, just start selling off some of that Blonde Ambition tour jackets that you all got.
That's funny. No, unfortunately, my bomber jacket's gone. I can't even remember where it is. I have a lot of stuff. I have I have a bunch of stuff. So, and I just say that's my daughter's, stuff.
Yeah.
And once again, and that's hoping that it's worth it to her generation. Who knows? I don't know.
Has she seen Truth or Dare?
Yeah, but much, for her, Madonna's an old lady,
Right.
I'm an old lady, it's like her and her friends are like, Madonna Shmana, what?
Yeah,
It's
my niece is 11, and she's the same exact way. I try to always be like, listen, this is Madonna, and she's just rolling her eyes at me, being like, I don't know who. Can we listen to Ariana Grande instead?
Yeah. And even my daughter's not even that. My daughter's still putting her finger in her mouth for Ariana Grande. She's like, whatever. My daughter is so like on some, I don't know. She's into Japanese music and Korean K-pop. She's into, Japanese classical music. She's all over the place. She likes rock, and she loves 80s hip hop, like early 80s hip hop.
Oh, good for her.
She's
Nice.
really
Like
into that.
What is it? Jam Master Flash? What's?
Yes, like hip hop. All that's hippity. She just thinks she loves like when they do a throwback hip hop on radio. She loves all that stuff. Throw your hands in the air and wave them. I'm like, okay. Now.
Does she know Jodeci?
She'll probably be going to that's R&B.
Yeah, that's
right.
New Jack
Right.
Swing.
But I'm just saying, if she doesn't know Jodeci, I was a huge Jodeci fan growing up.
Yeah, no, she's not R&B that way. No, she's hip hop.
Oh, okay.
But early hip hop, and she loves rock, and she loves jazz. She likes jazz. I didn't know that. I catch her in her room listening to jazz. I'm like, she goes, yeah, Mom, I like jazz. Nice. Wait, and she not only likes jazz, she likes big band.
Oh, wow.
Mm.
Yeah, crazy.
So, Niki, you come from a jazz background. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I know in doing research, I was, thinking that you and Donna have a lot in common because, she comes from a family, rooted in music. Her father was a musician, and then yours as well. And you guys performed together as well. So
both of our fathers were pianists.
Yeah.
Her father was a part of the rock scene in the recording scene in Los Angeles, and my father was a Grammy Award jazz pianist. Why is my phone going crazy over here? Hold on. Sorry. So yeah, he went through all his stages of, straight ahead jazz in the 50s and 60s. And then he went into like the 70s kind of, Moog music, the synthesizer stuff. He went through all that period and then went back to like full on where he, he was the conductor for the Count Basie band and the musical director for them. But he also, had Ray Charles and B.B. King and did all their big band stuff for them. And so, yeah, he was pretty phenomenal. And as he would tell you, if he was still alive, never, ever encourage or discourage me, because I did not come into music to be a singer. I came into music because I just needed to pay some bills. So that was never, ever necessarily a dream of mine to be a singer. I actually wanted to just be a history teacher.
There's still time.
You know what? I feel like I am a history teacher because I'm a mother, and with everything she's living through right now, I'm trying to teach her as much history as I can. So
yeah, I'm sure you've traveled the world. You've met so many different types of people and had so many different types of experiences. I'm sure you are a wealth of wisdom for her.
I don't know. Look, I don't know. I really don't know. I always keep on telling her, I can't believe you chose me. I'm on the spiritual side. How did you end up choosing me? Because I just don't ever know if I'm getting this right. That's always the scary thing when you're over here trying to figure it out by yourself. I don't know. I feel like she's my gift. I don't know what I'm doing for her, except for trying to make her smile every now and then, and give her some wings, so she can fly. Let her write her own story.
Yeah, that's sweet.
Nice.
I'm going back to Don again too. That's the other thing that I think really shifted our besides our fathers, is the fact that we had babies a day apart. We got to do our pregnancies together. And that shifts your soul when you walk through something like that together.
Yeah, and it, you guys express it when you sing together. I always say to myself, they're like sisters in song, because I just, that chemistry it's undeniable. I mean, we
honey, and
we were in the room in
follow-
Brooklyn seeing you guys sing, and I was like, this is so powerful, you know?
It is. It is. Because trust me, we have had every, the pendulum swings from every place in this friendship, because we are seriously like sisters in that respect, where you're like, I don't ever want to talk to you again. To, like, I wish somebody would say something, but that's my sister, or to that, you're getting on my fucking nerves,
Mm-hmm.
to, how could you be so mean to me? I mean, I know all the things that we've gone through together, where it's like, okay, let me just let her have her corner over there. Let me have my corner over here. Or to the point where it's like, God, I miss you so much. God, I miss you so, and being able to look at each other, crying on each other's shoulders, just once again, I'm gonna go back to the same analogy again. We have got to paint with all the colors together.
Mm-hmm.
She and I have got to paint with all the colors. And what happens when and it's a safe place, because trust me, I have been my most mean, grumpy, bitchy with her. But I've also been allowed to be my most forgiving, most compassionate, most gentle with her.
Mm-hmm.
And all those colors are allowed in real relationships.
Yeah. Well, it's like that saying where if you can't take someone at their worst, you don't deserve them at their best.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
And
I don't know if I was at my best, but but you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, I'm so grateful that you walk away with one friend like that you have a place that's safe to go, God, like, am I going to always be just saying, I'm sorry to you? Cause I was so nasty or I was, or what, just feeling like, oh my God, look at what the universe has allowed us to have with each other. Look at this journey we got to walk together.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys recently had like a...
And I'll go back. It's on film. And it's on film. and how about that? We even talk about it sometimes too, that she and I went from a place where you had to look each other in the eye. We didn't have phones.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
We didn't get to do any of that stuff, And so a lot of what we did in the beginning feels really genuine because it was, and it wasn't agenda driven. I didn't come to Madonna's gig because I was like, and then I'm gonna post it, and I'm gonna be a star, and I'm gonna sit next to her, and then and then I'm gonna get 500 likes
on Instagram.
We didn't have any of those agendas. It's like, I like you because I like you. You made me mad because you made me mad. It's like, so, and then watching the universe change. And I remember as crops and crops of dancers would come through, and watching the mindset change. When I realized half of these dancers, they really want to be Madonna. Half of them really want to be the performer. They were, they're so busy trying to make sure that they're in front of the camera.
Mm-hmm.
Or or they came in with managers.
Right.
It's like, oh, this is the world we live in now. It's like, we're always self-promoting, as opposed to being present. And I think that was what was so great about Truth or Dare. And because as you notice, nobody was on phones and stuff in that movie. We didn't have that. So it was the camera watching us try to be present.
Mm-hmm.
Because can you imagine how different that movie would have been if people were posting, if all them dancers were posting or had, cell phones during that time? That would have been a completely different type of situation.
Well, you probably never would have started the Truth or Dare game to begin with. I mean, half the fun is being able to relate to people in without a phone. And if you're on your phones, people they've tuned out. They're not even, what? I'm sorry, what? What are you doing? What?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, and herein lies that was so brilliant about that film, because the camera that was following us was the phone. Mm. So, and the lens just, you zoomed out with one camera, as opposed to everybody having a camera now.
Right.
And it's like that. Nobody ever zooms out and sees the big picture.
Yeah.
You know, nobody zooms out. Everybody's just zooming into their own fucking image and posting it. I'm sorry. Is that too heavy?
All right, guys, that brings us to the end of part 1 of our chat with Niki Haris. We'll be back next week to continue our conversation with her, where we talk about, I don't know, some more Niki collaborations, her work with Donna DeLore, their very special friendship, an extra special lightning round, and of course, more Madonna. Talk to you guys next week. Don't forget to listen to us wherever podcasts are heard, and like and subscribe, rate and review. See you guys next week.